Welcome, everybody, once again to the Realest Scraps Wrestling Podcast. My name is Rolo, and with me, as always, is Oscar. What's up, fool?
Excelsius.
Excelsius.
We're talking
The
Celsius. We're talking comics.
We're talking comics today. That's right. That's the old Mibble Comics slogan, Excelsius. The short-lived Mibble Comics from about 19. It was November 1962 until February 1963. Very, very short-lived. That is an actual fact. Go look it up on Wikipedia. It's I'm
Yeah.
not lying at all whatsoever. We're your most trusted source for everything wrestling, comics, and pop culture related. But yeah, like Oscar said, today's show is about comics. At the end of the last episode, I said we're talking about our comics, their comics, maybe your comics. But what you've been reading lately, Oscar? Actually, before we start that, what's going on, Oscar? What's up with you, bro?
I'm broke, man. Give me some money. Buy some comic books that are ours.
Hmm.
um, Nothing much. I'm just doing some housework, fixing some walls, and I had a fun barbecue last week. Got to meet some, friends I haven't seen in a while. I've been watching Tales from the Crypt because it's spooky season.
Yeah, yeah.
That show's great. And pretty much that's it.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
I understand that Dante went heel at that.
He went heel, yeah, because we had some friends over, and well, I have a dog, my dog named Dante. I've only had him for like 3 months, barely, not even 3 months, and he's still a little skittish. So there was some kids here, like younger kids, younger than mine. So he didn't really know how to act, and for whatever reason, he picked one kid, and he was like, "I don't like that one." Not the kid's fault; it's the fucking dog. So he was growling in a way I didn't like. So I was like, "You go to my room." I put him in my room, and this motherfucker, he started look this motherfucker. He looks like a sprocket from Fraggle Rock. He started scratching my door, and then he started scratching the wall next to the door. He scratched it so much, he dug a hole. He turned into like fucking you know a hedgehog or whatever the fuck, and just started burrowing through the wall. And
It almost in that picture you sent me, it almost kind of looked like a tear in time, the fabric
yeah,
of time.
oh, he had a sling ring on, so
Ah, okay, there you go.
um, so I'm fixing that today. And if anyone's never repaired a hole in the wall, it's actually really easy, and it's kind of fun. Like I'm a real man kind of shit.
Some William Regal type shit. He's a man.
Yeah, so I'm doing that today, uh, before and after this podcast, and it'll be done fast. And then I'm going to sign up officially. I mean, I'm on the table. We're on the table, technically us, but I'm going to sign up officially for Mex American.
Oh,
Uh,
nice. Okay.
yeah, so that's going to be rad. I did the poster for Mex American, so if you see it on Instagram, that's me. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. A lot of artwork, artwork and housework, commission work and housework, which is both very rewarding.
Very, very cool. Um, on the commission work, like what's been your like one of your favorite things to work on so far?
Oh my god, I'm looking at it right now. It's so pretty. Um, so for Guzu Gallery here in Austin, Texas, right next to Austin Books and Comics, best comic book store in Central Texas. I don't want to get heat.
Right. The comic kid would
Um,
be like, well, now.
yeah, yeah, I'll be dumped from this fucking podcast.
Right.
So Guzu
He's just
Gallery,
playing Bill T.
they do every couple months they do themed art, art galleries, like, or whatever the fuck. And you go and you see all the cool art that local artists, mostly local artists, do. And you can purchase the posters because you print them or whatever. Um, and I did one a couple months ago. It's like a big Godzilla trampling through Austin, Texas, because it was a Texas themed gallery. This coming October, it's a horror. It's horror because it's uh, spooky season. So I did a um, American Werewolf in London poster based off of it were in the theme of the old Tales from the Crypt comic book, and it's the one of the coolest things I've ever drawn because it kind of don't look like I drew it. I tried to draw it in a slightly different style, like the old style, a lot of black shadows. And if you look at my artwork, I don't do a lot of straight black shadows, so that was kind of hard for me to do. Like I'm erasing the artwork with just a black blobs, but it looks pretty rad. I'm very proud of it, and everybody needs to go buy it so I can pay my bills.
It does look really badass. I showed it to a couple of the fellas there at the shop, and yeah, they dug it a lot. So yeah, it looks
Heck
really
yeah.
fucking cool. Um, when are folks able to see like a preview of that like on Guzu Gallery, or do they just gotta go
Um,
see it in person?
I
How does
believe
that
it'll be
work?
next week. Not until they. I'm not. I'm part of the rules are I'm not allowed to show it.
Okay.
But they'll show it off soon. Go to Guzu Gallery online, and even though they're doing the gallery, everybody listen to the podcast. The gallery's here in Austin, but you can order the stuff online too.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So
We'll get links
they
to
put the
that.
gallery on for like the local audience, brick and mortar people, and then they'll like a week later, I think they release everything online as well.
Cool. So yeah, so we'll put links up to that once we get them.
Heck
Did I
yeah.
just fuck up by telling you that I showed someone the artwork that you showed me?
No, because you just showed like some homies. You didn't post it
Oh,
online.
okay. Oh, cool, cool. All right.
Showing the homies is
So I'm not gonna edit that part out.
no.
Um, but cool deal. So yeah, so that's at Guzu Gallery, right next to Austin Books there in Austin, Texas. Speaking of Austin, we were talking about, or you brought up Mexamericon. That's gonna be going down in November. That's what the second, right? The 2nd of November, I believe.
Yes,
Let me
correct.
see. Oh yeah,
Second of
yeah,
November.
November 2nd. It's right here. It's right here in my notes. That's why we keep them. But yeah, so it's gonna be at the 2nd of November there in Austin. It's probably our favorite convention of the year. It's just so steeped in the culture, just a lot of good vibes. Financially, we probably do our best there too.
Absolutely.
So that's great. But yeah, it's a really great vibe. It's something that I look forward to whenever I do get a chance to go. But you guys should check it out. We'll have links to that as well. Now, Mexamericon, this is what their seventh, I think. I believe it's their seventh, sixth or seventh
I think so.
issue or
It's
something like
it's
that.
been a while. We've
Yeah,
done every one of them,
yeah, we've done.
even the pandemic online ones,
Yeah, yeah, we
which
went on
we
that one
made
as
money
well.
off of, which was rad.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's just a really cool convention to go to. It's it's comics, it's vendors, it's a lot of the culture. They have it at I forget the name of it right now, but it's a cultural center there in Austin.
Mhm.
Um, so just a really good event to go to. So that's going to be November 2nd in Austin. Before that, I also wanted to talk about another event that's going on here in Brownsville. That's Crearte Expo. That one starts with an opening night ceremony on October the 18th. And then the con itself is on the 19th and 20th. So that's Crearte Expo. We'll have links for that as well. We're going to have a lot of different guests, kind of the same tone as Mexamericon, or that's kind of what they're going for. Um, and so they're gonna have some ballet. They're gonna have the all kinds of arts, including uh, comic art. They're gonna have an artist alley. Also vendors here, local vendors as well. And it'll be a really good show to go to. We'll have more information on that too as that comes closer. That's going to be in a few weeks. Um, so that's for these shows. What are you reading right now, Oscar? What comics are you reading right now? What are you into at the moment?
Well, I got my handy dandy CLZ comics list right here
There you go.
to show exactly what I've been reading.
Okay.
I've been reading, man, and when I go through my list right now, I feel like at least for what I can see, the indies are kind of in a slow point. Um, so I've been reading a lot of mainstream shit.
Cool.
Batman '89 Echoes. I've been really enjoying that one, which is continuing the story of Tim Burton's Batman. So like as far as the comics are concerned, the I almost said Ving Rhames. The Van Wilder. Damn it, who's that dude? Mad Mardigan. You know Mad Mardigan. Um, you're gonna let me hanging.
Scared.
Who's?
Scared. Scared.
I almost got it. I almost got it. Claudia Schiffer.
Bilbo
No,
Baggins.
Bilbo Baggins. The guy from that movie.
Oh, Ethan Hawke.
Oh, I energy drink does nothing.
Martin Wayans.
Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer. Um, the if you change the actor, it's a different universe or whatever. That's how these comics are going. And they sold these comics under the guise of like, this is canon for the Tim Burton stuff, even though they're now writing a book that erases this canon, because there's no such thing as canon, guys. Get over it.
Yeah.
Canon's just a marketing buzz. Anyways, I've been liking it. It's pretty cool. And the silly thing about this book is they're doing it almost as if like they cast actors in these comics.
Yep.
So like the Riddler isn't they're in Arkham. So like they drew character. I don't know if this is legal or not, but they're doing it. They modeled Harley Quinn after Madonna. They modeled the Riddler after Martin Short. The security guards in the Arkham Asylum are Jesse the Body Ventura and Zeus Debo.
Oh, cool. I didn't see those. I'd seen
Penny
the ones.
Lister.
I didn't see those.
Yeah. And the Scarecrow is obviously drawn as Jeff Goldblum. They even write the cadence of him as Jeff Goldblum. It's very interesting.
Well, the thing is that any similarities to people living or dead are merely coincidental.
And this is only for this second storyline. The second storyline is Batman 89 Echoes. For the first storyline, with the only character they modeled were people who were already in the movies.
Yeah.
Which meant Two-Face was Billy D. Williams, which is super cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But they cast Robin in that in the comic, but the rumor wasn't even a rumor. Like it was official until they dropped the story, which was Marlon Wayans was originally cast as Robin.
Yeah.
But when they drew the art with the artist in this first storyline, didn't draw him looking like young Marlon Wayans. But I would like to think that if they had their druthers or whatever, their balls or confidence that they do with Echoes, they would have drawn him as a young Marlon Wayans. But it's cool. I dig it. It's been a lot of fun reading that. Superman, the artwork is fantastic in Superman. Mm-hmm. Spidey, I enjoy Spidey. Maybe I'm like the one in a million who still likes.
Kind of are the We have a lot of people still subscribing, but
yeah. Mary Jane, let Mary Jane live her fucking life. Get over it, guys. She must Peter. She's not there to please Peter.
She must be caged, bro.
What else am I reading? I read Dazzler #1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't read it yet. I picked it up.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet.
It's very different. It's very I don't want to sound misogynistic, but it's not really written for me, but I did enjoy it because I'm not an asshole. I'm reading Deadpool, and I'm sure Deadpool is going to anger a lot of the bros because in the storyline, his daughter's taking over the mantle of Deadpool, and she's calling herself Deadpool.
Yeah.
Gosh, what else? Oh, I want to talk real quick about the Wolverine Revenge, the Greg Capullo Wolverine.
Okay.
I like it. It's fun, and it's nice seeing like an old school artist draw old school style. Mm-hmm. Feels like an old comic book. But this idea of having like an X-rated version that you have to buy separate and comes in plastic.
The red band.
Huh?
The red band.
Thank you. The red band. It's a silly, in my opinion, a very silly marketing thing. It's a gimmick. It's a huge gimmick because half the time it's like the same drawing except they just add a little more blood splatter or put a little tripa in there,
Yeah.
It's silly and nothing in there. Honestly, nothing in that book warrants like putting it in a plastic bag to keep the kids away from reading it. I think It's very silly, but whatever. It's fun. And finally, the last one I'll say is I'm reading Chasm, The Curse of Cain, because I started reading when I started reading Spider Man again, like on the reg. Uh, Ben Riley had just turned into Chasm in the previous storyline,
Hmm.
so I went to the library and checked out all that storyline and read it, and it was super cool. I know people hate same thing. Like I don't want to sound like a douche, but like just like wrestling, maybe some people are reading it wrong. Um, they want it's an action figure thing. You know, like everybody wants Chasm to be, this guy, like you to be another hero. You know, they
The
want him to
guy.
be go back to being Ben Riley, maybe go back to being Spider Man. But that's not his role. His role is to be the guy who takes the lumps. His role is the guy to get shit on. You know, like you know that's his role. Like Darth Maul in the whole Clone Wars cartoon.
Yeah.
People got mad because he wasn't a super cool action figure toy that always wins, even though he's a bad guy. But his role was to get constantly shit on, and that's Chasm's role, you know. And it's
Yeah.
fun to watch. It's fun to watch a tragic character. You know, I love American Werewolf in London because it's a story of a guy who's gonna eat shit and die, and that's Chasm. Chasm's gonna eat shit and
Yeah.
die. He's died a couple times, and he's come back from limbo, and he does it because he's got the love of a good woman who's also a spooky lady, which is rad.
Yeah, that's I've we didn't get a whole lot of copies of the Chasm books, but I got folks in to pick up a couple of the copies, or a couple of folks to pick up copies based on that, just telling them that like Ben Riley, have you ever heard of Ben Riley? No? Oh my God. Like it was like this guy is tragic as hell. I was like, if you want an in on something new, something that's different, but it's Spidey, like here's Chasm.
Right.
We also got in a couple statues and figs and stuff lately.
I
So
love
people
that
are
costume.
yeah, people are starting to get familiar with that design and stuff. So that's what brought the attention to the comic to one customer. He was looking at a statue of Chasm. He asked what it was, showed it to him, and I was explaining. I was like, "Have you read about him?" And then that's when we got into that conversation.
Yeah.
But I agree. I mean, it's just like movies. You know, you have different genres and stuff. You have drama, you have comedy, and everything like that. So
Yeah.
same thing with
If he was doing that, there'd be no point in the comic. It's just another hero walking around beating up bad guys. Like,
yeah,
yeah. It's kind
yeah,
of like it's that whole group of like the star-crossed lovers who are doing bad shit, like was that one movie ah, fucking not Romeo and Juliet, the
Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde. That was the one that Quentin Tarantino wrote, but he didn't direct.
Oh,
Um,
True Romance.
like True Romance,
Yeah.
or even Raising Arizona, where it's like
Mm,
these people are down on their luck, but they got each other, kind of shit.
mm. Yeah, like Hove and Bay.
Yeah,
It's the well as far as the indie shit, man. In the advantage and the reason I'm lucky is working at a comic shop is you get to see a lot of uh a lot of stuff that maybe you see in the catalog, but you don't really get an appreciation for until you see it in person. So when I'm sorting all the comics, I get to take a look at the swath of freaking titles coming out. Um, and there is quite a bit of good stuff out there. It's just no one really talks about it. There's one, what is it? Um, Falling in Love on the Path to Hell is one that's pretty crazy. It's kind of a space western one. Ain't No Grave, that's also another really good one. That's a western one. It's about a pissed off mama, like speaking of Tarantino, it's like Kill Bill style,
ooh,
but kind of a western. It's like it's like the spaghetti western took back the Tarantino uh, appropriation of the genre. So yeah, so those are pretty good. Transformers, man, you've been reading Transformers, right? Or you read some of it or no?
I read the first issue. Are you talking about the Daniel Warren Johnson one?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, I read the
That
first issue. I need to get back on it. I have it on Hoopla, so
okay.
um,
That series is absolutely amazing. If you read just even 6 issues in and then you start it over, um, it'll get you the second time. It got me the first time. Like it hits all the different levels, the emotional level. It's got a little bit of comedy, but it's just action, and it's just so very well paced. Um, the books don't, I mean, they seem like they go by kind of quick, but they're super enjoyable. It's kind of like what we wanted to do, or the idea behind Mashbone and Grifty, where we wanted each story to be self-contained, but then part of the bigger arc. This isn't exactly like that, but you don't mind it. It just it makes you look forward to each subsequent issue. The art is absolutely amazing. It's very more like a sketch kind of style. Well, Daniel Warren Johnson style, and I think it's Jorge Corona. That's also
Scratchy, a
that's
little scratchy.
called Scratchy, um, Sketchy. But yeah, they've been the ones that have been doing the art on that, and it's amazing work. The action sequences are super cool. There is a customer though that said that he didn't like that artwork, which I was ready to jump over and give an old tombstone power driver there. But he's a good customer, and he suffered through gang war just like you did. So
Respect,
so
respect.
yeah,
Gang
so
War was pretty awful.
yeah, respect to Mr.
But
Roberto. But no,
all the side comics were terrible.
yeah, yeah, and so but yeah, he was saying that he didn't really dig the art, which of course, teach their own kind of thing. Um, but my biggest appreciation for that series is all the and this has been talked about it is all the wrestling moves that get sprinkled in there.
Yes.
Some lariats, German suplex. The biggest holy shit was seeing a freaking burning hammer. That's where you pick up a dude across your back upside down, and then you kind of flip him, but he's like landing on his head and neck. But yeah, that was really fucking cool. But it's been a really good series so far. So Transformers, I definitely recommend. All of the GI Joe stuff, obviously, I'm a huge fan of GI Joe in general. But the single series, which is Destro, Cobra Commander, Duke, and Scarlet, those are all building up along with Transformers to a new GI Joe title being released. So it's gonna have to do with that new universe. There's a GI Joe Real American Hero that's based off the long-standing, what was it, the IDW run, based off of that stuff. But there's a new run that's going to be coming out, similar type of creative teams. So I'm really looking forward to that. The way that they've built up this new GI Joe Transformers, what they call the Energon universe, it's been super solid, man. So I'm really excited for what's going to come out of that. Um, but yeah, aside from that, there's a lot of other there's indie comics here and there that are really good. I haven't been able to get all of them, but I've flipped through them and I read at least a little bit of each one, and there's some pretty good stuff out there. Um, there's a lot of horror comics I've noticed, man. There's so many of them, and a lot of them have freaking amazing artwork. Just really good art. I know Creepshow has made a comeback in the last few years, last couple years. They've had several volumes of like different series out for that. The Spawn universe stuff continues to do really well. There's other like big books by oh my God, what is it called? It's a Distillery, DSTLRY. Distillery's been doing a series of books or different series of books. They're kind of oversized, like more like magazine style, magazine size uh, books, but they've also been hitting pretty well. But there's some gems out there. It's just unfortunately, but I think comics has done a pretty bad job of just marketing. I think we talked about that a little bit
Yeah,
before.
I
Um,
get
but
that. I have I have my pull list, but I don't have time. At least lately, I don't have time to just lounge around, at the comic shop. So
mm,
I get in and get out,
yeah,
to usually. Um, but there, I am sure if I were to just lounge around, I'd find more.
dude. But
Uh,
in that shop, it's just so freaking huge, man. And
yeah.
they're at Austin Books. Like there's no way you could.
Oh, speaking of indie, thank you for saying that, bringing up indie. I'm also reading I Lie Popeye.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think
I
issue
got
two
the
or
free
three
comic
just
book.
dropped, right?
Yeah, issue 2.
Two, yeah.
So I got the free comic book day one. Oh, when on free comic book day, and that is actually like it's like the first half of the first issue
Okay.
because they're fat issues.
Yeah.
Uh, they're not 22 pages. I forget how much it is, but it's a lot. And I love Popeye. I've always loved Popeye. You look at Mashbone, you can tell I like Popeye. I got big, the big old forearms.
Yeah.
Um, and I was thinking, like, why would I get in? Why would I read a new Popeye, book nowadays? Because it's Popeye, it's old school. But this shit is crazy. It's Dragon Ball, is what it is.
Mm.
Uh, you have like the old sea hag, and she's sending big Dragon Ball monsters or whatever to fight Popeye. I forget why. And they just engage in these big anime style battles. And Popeye's just beating the crap out of people. And I love it because not to toot my own corncob pipe, but it doesn't look like, I wouldn't say it looks like my artwork, but it looks like I could draw that artwork. So I like that, and it gives me the mushy gushies just from an artist perspective. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I like this because like it looks like my shit. So like, of course I'm gonna like it. And the fights that they get into, and it's just fun. I like it, and so I put that shit on my pull list after reading the New Comic Book Day 1. And I have issue 2 here. I haven't read it yet. I just picked it up. Yesterday, so I'm looking forward to that.
Hell yeah. It's the yeah, I saw that I picked up the first one. I didn't pick up the second one. I think we had just a few extra copies, so I was like, oh, I'll leave them out. If it survives the weekend, then I'll probably pick up issue 2. But yeah, the panels in that first issue were pretty damn impressive. Like some of the perspectives and stuff.
Yeah,
It's pretty wild. It's
I
pretty
don't
cool.
remember if it was you or if it was somebody else, but I was just like taking pictures and sending that shit to somebody
Mhm.
while I was reading it. It's like, look at this shit. It's
Yeah,
great.
I think you were sending it to me. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I also sent it to a good buddy of ours from Slam Portal, Derek Refbeard,
Mm.
because I was just so hyped about this shit. Like when I was
Yeah.
reading it, that's what I love about a comic book. I love like when I'm reading something and I out loud I go, "Oh shit!" Like I do that for wrestling when I'm watching wrestling.
Hmm.
To do that in a comic book, that's special.
Yeah. That's why like I love it whenever folks tell us that when they read Mashbone and Grifty, that they like actually laugh out loud.
Yeah,
The folks that are like, man, my wife was looking at me from across the room, like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, I love that because I know that it's kind of hard to do sometimes.
yeah.
But recently, the Ultimates, like all the Ultimate Universe stuff, the newer stuff, I went back and read was it Ultimate Invasion from last year? Then there was a single issue that came out. I think it was Ultimate Universe last November. Then there's all the Ultimate Universe stuff right now in Marvel. Um, but that had me doing that as I was going through it. It may be because I already, I'm reading stuff that's a little over a year old, and some of the stuff's already happened, right? But as I go back and I read it, I'm like, oh shit, as I'm going through and seeing what the maker's doing and all that, like how everything's playing out, how Jonathan Hickman just molded everything and same way he did with X-Men with the Krakoan era. That's kind of what he's doing. He's laying this blueprint out for what looks to be a pretty badass universe. They're almost 10 issues in for like 4 different series, I think, or 3 different series. So it's been really good stuff so far.
I would like to bring up another book I've been reading.
Uh,
Uh, the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
oh yeah, how's that so far?
So it's 2 issues in. Honestly, I didn't like the first one, but the second one got me. I liked it. And it's weird, man. Like things change as you get older,
Mm,
because what they're doing with this one is they're starting over. But I'm assuming it's the same turtles from the previous comics. I don't know,
yeah.
but they're starting over as like a issue 1, like brand for you to jump on. And the turtles have dispersed throughout the world. Um, so issue 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to be just focusing on one turtle. And so the first issue was Raphael. And when I was a kid, I was all into Raphael because he was in the cartoon because he's witty and he's kind of a dick, but he's funny at it,
He
So that's
was
what I like.
cool but rude.
Give me a break. So I always liked that because he was cool but rude. He was witty. He's kind of a dick, but he's fun. He does it funny.
Mm.
But then when they moved out of that, like the more they made the new cartoons, and I'm guessing even some of the comics, they progressed it into like, oh, he's just an asshole. He's just really mean.
Yeah.
And like the Michael Bay turtles, like not even everything aside that you don't like about those movies, like the Raphael in that movie, he's just an asshole. It's like
Mm.
so off putting. I didn't like the character. So um, this one, kind of the same thing. He's in jail. He's fighting guys in jail, and I was like, I'm not really into this kind of thing. And then issue two, because I told myself I didn't like that one, but I'm gonna at least do the first four issues so I can just get the first four turtles. Issue two it was fun because it's Michelangelo. He's a movie star in Japan, and he basically does like Jackie Chan movies,
Oh shit.
where he's fighting ninjas and all that stuff. And he loves it, but he's bored. He's like complacent, like there's nothing exciting happening in his life anymore. And then same thing that happened in the first one. Spoilers: ninjas attack. You don't know who the ninjas are yet,
Wait,
but in the
what?
first issue
Ninjas?
and the second issue, spoilers: the turtles get attacked by ninjas. Who knew? Uh, and what I liked about it is that he's chilling in his pad in his palatial townhome or whatever the fuck,
Huh.
and he has he tries to fight with his nunchucks, but they're like stunt nunchucks, so they're foam, so they
Oh
just break.
no. Yeah.
But then since he's rich, he's a movie star, he has all this like tacky shit that he buys, and on his wall he has framed a pair of nunchucks that are framed, and they're made out of diamonds.
Holla.
And so like they buzz, the thing buzzes. He's like, oh shit, my nunchuck, and he gets them. And you guys got to just go look at these panels. He's like fighting these ninjas with these um, nunchucks made out of diamonds. So it's like Dazzler. There's like sparkles going
Uh,
everywhere as he's like fighting.
uh,
And I was looking at it and I'm thinking, this is fucking cool. This is really cool. It's like super, it's like a special effect in a movie, like diamond encrusted uh, nunchucks, like sparklies going everywhere as he's fighting these ninjas.
yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. I liked it, and so I'm gonna stick around for obviously the next two, and I'll decide to keep it on my pull list or not because I really wanted to because I'm a huge Ninja Turtle fan, but I didn't get into any of the IDW comics
Hmm.
beforehand. I just did the Humble Bundle, which collects all of them together.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh,
and
that's right. Yeah, you were telling me about that.
yeah, so I got to read them. And I just got this phone here that like does the foldy thing, this thing,
Hmm.
so I can actually read comics on it.
Yeah.
And it's bought that phone. I was actually gonna downgrade and get like a smaller, crappy phone, but I bought that specifically for comic books, and it was the right choice because comic books look amazing on that thing. I just read through the entire Wolverine versus Predator on there, and like I didn't even have to do the enlarging the panels. I can just read it, which
Mm.
is cool.
I can't because I'm blind as shit.
Well,
Uh,
you could double tap and blow it up anyway.
no, I can't see it all. No. Um, is the yeah? How is that, by the way? I never got to finish the Predator vs. Wolverine.
It was good.
See,
It was very
first issue
fun.
was chingon.
It's yeah, it's like the same thing I said earlier. Like, don't even think about canon or anything like that. Like
Mm.
just enjoy it. And it's basically the gist of the plot of it is everything you've known about Wolverine uh actually included the Predator
Oh, okay. I
the
thought it
whole
was gonna
time.
be like a forget everything you knew.
No, no. Remember everything you knew, but you didn't know that the Predator was there the whole time. And
Okay.
Wolverine don't know it because he's Wolverine and he's constantly getting his brain wiped. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I've never fought this dude before, but it feels like I have. Yeah, because you have like 10 times.
Oh shit, that's cool.
So yeah, and it's fun and it's bloody it's just gory as the gimmick Wolverine Revenge right
The
now,
red
but
band.
it wasn't Red Band. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
liked it.
It was
It was a
actually
fun
pretty
read.
pretty. It's the well when you're talking about Turtles, on those first four issues, um, variant covers are being done by friend of the Five Meats, Jay Gonzo,
Yeah,
Jason Gonzalez. He's been busy, man. He's doing four covers for the Turtles. They also just released this past week on was it the first of October, a Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider special, which he also did a fucking fire cover for, like literally and figuratively, because it's Ghost Rider on fire, man. His head is all flames. Um, but yeah, so he did some variants. He's done variants for Turtles and then for Ghost Rider. So shout out, sorry, excuse me, shout out to Jay Gonzo. He's scheduled to be at Crearte here in Brownsville.
nice,
I will confirm, but he's on the guest list. So hopefully we get together and rap a little bit
excellent.
once he's here. Um, let's see. Well, let's switch it up to from other people's comics, and let's go back to talk about our comics,
Yeah,
specifically Mashbone and Grifty, which is this guy right there. Right? If you're watching us and not listening, that book right. You know what? Let me see. This is the advantage of doing a podcast on video. If you're only listening to the audio, you're SOL. But here we go. Bam. Mashbone and Grifty. It is now available on Amazonian, Amazon. Badass book. Oscar, tell them about this freaking book.
you remember that book that you liked? This one's way better and funnier.
And
Um,
because this one is actually it's approved by the Five Meets Indie Comics Code, which
yeah,
is maybe it's good, maybe it ain't,
yeah, and it is.
and it
So
is.
the whole spiel. If you haven't heard before, it's about two dummies who haven't done anything with their lives, and they decide to become private detectives because they love helping people and they want the clout that comes with it. And the only problem is that all they do is they print out a bunch of flyers and put them around town, in a town that is desperately in need of heroes because everybody who should be able to help you ain't going to help you, and the people who are bad are really bad. So people are desperate and they flock to him. And the first person who flocks to him is somebody who is possibly not even a good guy. He just has a good, he just has a conscience, developed a conscience. Um, and they get balls deep in danger.
There you go. So that's the elevator speech for it. Um, yeah, man, so much fun writing this goddamn book over the years. Can you talk a little bit about what made you think about just Mashbone? Like, made you come up with the idea of Mashbone?
Yeah, some of it was just some of it was just like feeling like things that I enjoy drawing. I just enjoy drawing hands and feet and like really obscure characters. So I was I don't really like drawing like buff superhero guys and muscles, and I can do it, but I don't like it. Like the abs and all that.
Hmm.
I like drawing dudes with pot bellies and they're hairy as fuck, and and they got fat asses.
They got fat asses.
And I just like normal looking people, but but at the same time very abnormal, like Matchbone.
Yeah.
And it kind of just came all together with just things that made me feel comfortable, and then kind of filling in the blanks of why I drew that. Just trying to, it was almost like a 10-year therapy session of like why, you know, and then trying to come up with something that sounds smart while explaining Mashbone. Then it turned into like uh oh, everything I've been trying to come up with to sound smart, like it's actually true, the stuff that I'm saying, which is like growing up in the valley, you feel very different from other people. And then there's a smaller version of that where if you don't speak English very well and everybody around you in Brownsville speaks English very well, you feel different. And vice versa. If you don't speak Spanish very well, and then a lot of people in your family do speak Spanish very well, you feel different. And so you feel different, and that's kind of like what Mashbone's about. And he's like a dude who's just trying to fit in, and meanwhile, his best friend could fit in better than him, but at the same time, he's kind of a putz. So they just gravitate towards each other, and they, just try to do dumb shit to be happy in life, and whether that works or don't work, as long as they're trying.
Yeah. And it's been really awesome to like evolve it, and just like talking about it, whenever we have discussions of or ideas, what about this, what about that, and just molding the characters into who they are.
Yeah,
Mashbone being the gullible, happy-go-lucky all the time, more of a positive guy, and Grifty more of the negative Nancy and stuff, and how they play off each other. Um, and as we've gone through the years, I've thought about like, obviously we know like certain influences that have gone into it, but I was thinking about the wide range of like dynamic duos that have influenced
yeah,
this. Obviously like Sam and Max, because it's a detective book.
huge.
What's it called? The Dude and Walter. Going back to Laurel and Hardy and stuff. But like for me, even stuff like Taggart and Rosewood from freaking Beverly Hills Cop. Even stuff like that.
Cheech
And
and Chong, Ren and
Cheech and
Stimpy.
Chong, absolutely. Ren
Yeah,
and Stimpy, Beavis and Butthead, Fry and Bender,
yeah,
all that stuff. And it just paints a picture of, man, like shit, you gotta, when you're making comics, when you're making anything, any creative thing, like there's just so much information that has to come into the old noggin, into the old mixer, before you can actually produce anything. And this is in part for anybody that may be looking to make comics or start anything, like just how much work and how much influence you do need to seek out. And I bring this up because um, in my journey to try and come up with stuff that's wholly original, a lot of times I've kept myself from consuming like certain things, and you got to take the good and the bad, take them
yeah,
both, and there you have the facts of life, the facts of life. Um, but yeah, but that's part of what's been really cool about helping with this is making myself watch stuff that I normally wouldn't, getting out of my comfort zone,
yeah.
just to write it. But that's been really cool, man. It's really nice to think back on what the fuck goes into this, and that's what it is, and it makes me really uh really joyful and hopeful for anything moving forward, uh, because we already kind of have certain plot lines, figured out. It's just a matter of the doing, and yeah, these next however many chapters we do, it's gonna be fucking badass, man. I like where we're going with it right now. What's been your favorite either part of a story or story to work on so far for Mashbone and Grifty? Or describe, for folks that haven't like read and stuff, like describe which one and why.
I I really liked the Christmas episode, the issue, the Christmas episode, Chris issue. I keep calling them episodes, but
Yeah, real quick to pause. So Mashbone and Grifty, ladies and gents, it started as an idea for an animated series. So a big chunk of storylines and treatments that we have are from pre-2013, when it was, the idea was still to make it an animated series. So that's why we sometimes
no.
jumble it and call
Um,
the volumes or
and I'll
issues
say it's like
episodes.
as far as like completed ones, I really like that one because it's just a silly adventure. Um, and like you were saying, like pulling from things, um, and that always helps, like pulling from things in your life or in digesting entertainment, and especially for Mashbone and Griffey because it's so ripe with parody, and just using storyline ideas as making fun of cliches and things like that, and tropes, making fun of troops. Uh, I really like that one because um, I don't know about you, but the main trope of that one is parodying M Night Shyamalan movie. I forget what it was called, but one of the creepy old people.
Was it the this? Not to stay, but something like
Oh,
that.
Grammy and Grampy go crazy. That's what it was
Go
called.
crazy, yeah.
So, but I've never seen that movie, and I probably never will. So
Oh shit.
the fun of it was parodying a movie that I've never fucking seen before.
Uh-huh.
Like that's just what I think the movie's about.
We parodied, and it pretty much was. We parodied the fucking trailer.
Yeah, that's it. There's
Uh,
a scene in the trailer that scared the crap out of me, and I said I'm never watching that movie. But because of that, put it in there. And then there's some scenes in there that is it's not the some a lot of some of the dialogue is parodied from other movies for jokes. Um, but like the feeling is just like in the climax in the one of the climactic twists in that comic. There's like four different movies mashed together in like 2 pages,
uh,
and it just makes for like a really tense, scary scene. Um, and I love that kind of shit. And it was just it's hard to tell what the other than one very obvious one. It's hard to tell where all the parodies come from,
mm,
and some of it is even like parody. It's not even a parody. It's just like little things that will never uh that you won't even get. Like the scene, I drew a scene in there from Dumb and Dumber. I never even told you that until now because it always made me laugh in Dumb and Dumber. It's not even supposed to be a funny scene
okay.
where Harold, right? That was his name, Harold. The
Harry.
yeah, Harry, where Harry gets shot by the antagonist of the movie, and Lloyd Christmas looks back at him and he goes, "You killed him, you bastard!" Like that.
Yeah.
And I always thought that scene was funny, so I have Grifty saying that in the comic. You killed him, you bastard.
That's where that came from. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's where that
That's
came from.
rad. Excuse me.
So it's like I'm not parodying. I'm not even parodying the scene. You know,
Just
like
yeah.
just the emotion of it. To like really get angry at somebody and be like, "You bastard!" You're like crying.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. So,
That is fucking funny. That's
but I
awesome
will
that they
say,
match.
I will add one more thing, but I don't want to talk too much about it because it's not out. It's not done yet. Is currently I have a feeling that uh when Hat Story, Mashbone Grifty's Hat Story comes out, that will be my favorite.
Yeah,
Because
what
that we're taking people on a crazy story there, and it's grounded. It's very grounded, but there's a lot of like action. I think it's almost has it's like the most action I've done in any book,
yeah.
where they're like in a crazy. There's like crazy scenes in a factory where they're people can fall to their death, and there's like a car chase. Such crazy shit in that comic, and it's only like a quarter done,
Yeah.
but there's so much in that. There's so much in that 30 pages.
I have to say that when Hat Story comes out and someone reads it, or at least the first like few pages, and you don't like it, it doesn't make you laugh, please don't ever consume anything that I have my name on ever again. Because
No, don't
dude,
ever.
I have when we're plotting that out, and then you were sending me the artwork to that, dude, I was laughing my fucking ass off because I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, this is why we do what we do. This is
Yeah,
us in school
I'll
again, just talking shit. It's funny. It's
yeah.
good shit.
And what did you say right now? If you don't find it funny, then what?
Then don't consume anything that I have my name on ever again.
Yeah, I'll take it a little step further because I just ran into this uh, last month. If anyone would read Hat Story and they don't find at least one joke in there funny, like don't ever talk to me again.
Yeah,
Like
there you
like
go.
like don't ever even like yeah don't
Yeah,
um yeah because
we ain't gonna get along at
I'm
all.
sorry but you're wrong. We are funny. Yes we are. And if you can't take a joke of mine, then you're not in my life.
Uh, and it's man, it's not even like the like taking the joke. It's just I don't know. It's a part of it is that, and part of it's just like understanding like where it's kind of coming from. Not the core, right? But just
Yeah,
like kind of just basic comedic, common sense.
yeah. I had a
But
woman say something like, I've only known you for like an hour, and I can't tell if you're serious or full of shit." And I said, "Oh, you don't get it. I'm both.
uh,
I'm always full of shit,
you said
but I'm
you said
serious."
you said hashtag five meets brand.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, there's the door.
There's the door. You threw your European title at the wall. But yeah, so well, Hat Story is going to be our second volume that we're going to release. This one right here that I showed right now, it's volume one is open for biz, and it's available right now on Amazon.com. But Hat Story is going to be volume two. So once we're done with our little side quests, we're gonna finish that one and get it out to the
Yeah.
masses. But yeah, it's definitely been really fun to work on, and that's guess that's kind of what I was trying to say earlier when I was talking about how much fun it was and seeing how how much just info has to be taken in, and I think it's more for to be able to keep up with the rate of parody that we do. That's like I need more information now, because like the
Yeah.
well for like the shit I've been super familiar with, when I was younger, like that's running that well's running dry. So yeah, so that's why I've been trying to consume more. Um, as far as the future of the series, put you on the spot, and we can edit this out if we get into expletive laced tirades and
Oh yeah, we can just
and I throw
cut it in,
tomato.
like we'll do a laugh just to cut it in.
Yeah, there you go. But no, but what where do you want to go with this, man? Like what do you see like for the future of Mashbone and Grifty? Like because I mean obviously we've had our talks, as far as what we have set so far. But what are you feeling like now that we're a little bit that we've done more stuff, we're a little more involved with other things and all that? Like
Yeah.
what are you feeling right now?
Oh well, I have it right here. Let me just flip over this page because I have been mapping out Mashbone and Grifty's life right here.
Hell yeah.
Um, Chet.
Ladies and gentlemen, real quick, that's my dog right there. So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
continue.
um, so this, I mean, just to lay it out, this is what we're doing. I mean, we have volume one out, right? By the end of next year, volume two will be out. And that's, and this is the thing, like I've been getting in and on a bunch of different things, trying to do like other books here and there, like I like or drawing, like I drew some Aldama stuff for Frederick Aldama, which is always fucking worth it. Great stuff. I'm super pleased to be a part of that, part of his hijinks. Um, hijinks. The serious shit he talks about the border crisis
We'll
and
call them hijinks. For
the
this
plight
show,
of
it's hijinks.
the plight of Latino people in comics.
Or
Um,
hijinks. Yeah, yeah.
hijinks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's comic books. Woody Woodpecker. So next, and I've been going through a lot of stuff in my own life too, like TMI, but like the past what is it, 2024? The past 3 years, like uh, went through a big divorce. Is there any divorce that's big or small? I went through a divorce. Uh, and just trying to like start up my life again. Like starting to date. I never dated. I met my wife when I was like 19, and we were together for like 10 years before we even got married, and then we were together about another 10 years. So like just trying to get into the dating scene and seeing if people like my dumb bullshit. So far, no, but that's okay. Uh, they like this. Hey, hey, hey,
Uh,
hey. They like this. I'm handsome. Fuck off. Fuck off. Um,
please
uh,
believe me.
and then I'm getting back into the groove of life. Like I just got a house a year ago, and that's settled down where like I feel comfortable in the house and I feel comfortable with all my shit in my house.
It's
Uh,
not haunted anymore, right?
no,
They
no,
did the
no, no.
cleansing.
Yeah, my youngest daughter wants to be a Ghostbuster for Halloween, and she proved it by getting rid of the ghosts.
There you go.
And so I've been starting to do this kind of shit. Oh, therapy, I do a lot of therapy, and this is where this kind of shit comes in. Just writing, making a plan. Nothing happens in my life I figured out unless I write it down. So I've been writing like this week. I've done a ton of shit just because I wrote it all down last Saturday. Anyways, yeah, 2025. Hat Story will come out, and then the next year, Volume 3, which is going to be uh, a Halloween story and a Christmas story. And this is the thing: the next ones are like we're reissuing. Half of the volume will be reissue of our old shit that we're putting in color finally, but the other half will be brand new shit. So like we're peppering in some good side stories. Not even they're not even side stories. We're just peppering in good shit. So volume 2, volume 3, and volume 4, and that takes us to fucking 2027. So the 5, 6, 7, the 3 years of Mashbone Grifty are laid out. So that's what we're doing. We're doing volume 2, volume 3, volume 4, and who knows what we'll do after that. And I won't be 50 when those come out, so that'll make me happy. I just want to get these things out. And if from now, like I'm doing a book for a guy right now, and I'm really excited about it. And it's a kind of thing I've never worked on before. It's a little more mature as far as like content. There's wieners in there. It's like that kind of shit. And
Oh,
don't give me that look. Sex Machine is right over there, and that shit won an Eisner. Don't tell me what I can and can't draw. I'm already mad.
don't tell him not to draw dicks.
You telling me that I can't draw a Pegasus with big titties and wings made out of dicks?
You
I
know,
already drew it. Fuck you. I already drew it.
if you can't draw a big titty Pegasus with wings made out of dicks, I don't want to live on this earth anymore, man.
Well, don't worry. It's here. It is on this earth. And it's a
I
very
shall
silly.
I shall live another day.
Oh yeah. Other than the silly content like that, I won't talk about it because I'll leave it to the writer. This is his baby. I'm just drawing it. I'm probably gonna do other once the check clears on that comic. If he wants to do more, then and if that book is has an audience, then I'll do more. But other than that, I'm just sticking to Mashbone and Grifty, um, unless Aldamo wants to do something because that mofo pays me, which is red.
Mm.
But yeah, that's the my outlook right now. I'm feeling really good, really motivated about it. The I'm unemployed at the moment. I got laid off from my job because the people on top are always money grubbing bastards, and
This is true.
yeah. And so the way video game jobs work, I work in video games. It's so slow right now, and it's slower through the holidays. And here come the holidays. So I don't think I'll be able to get a job until like March. The good thing is I'll be able to afford that. I got to act poor, much to the chagrin of my children, but whatever.
It is what
That's
it
how it
is.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up middle class in Brownsville, and I feel like I grew up poor compared to these children, which is nuts.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, um, the good part about not having a day job is if I focus and if I plan, shit gets done. I did a whole comic page on Monday. I did I did like 2 commissions this week also. So it's kind of like 3 pages of a comic if you think about it that way. And tonight and tomorrow I'm going to finish another page. So that's it's getting shit done. So this book that I'm working on for this client, it'll be done by the end of the year.
Oh yeah.
Especially if I don't got no fucking job. Yeah, it'll be done by the end of the year, and then after that, starting in January, it's Mashbone and Grifty time. Time to jump back in that hat story.
Oh yeah. Badass, man. And yeah, and good on you getting all that stuff done. I know we were talking about it the other day, and it's like shit. That's a lot of work getting did. So good stuff there. So yeah, so that was a little bit about our comic. Um, I have a comic that's going to be released in November now. It was scheduled for October, but comic industry, there's always delays. So it's going to be coming out around the time of Dia de los Muertos, which is
Nice.
actually perfect timing because this comic book is called The 13 Origins Revive, and it's about a girl that um, Zoe Vidal that on her 18th birthday she gets the power to be able to revive people back to life that have been dead for less than 24 hours, and she finds she gets more powers along the way. So very much in line with the theme of Dia de los Muertos, but that's going to be coming out next month. So I'll talk a little bit more on that at a later time. Anything else that you want to discuss about comics, our comics, their comics, other comics before we get to
Yeah,
jetting?
comics. I would like to see people follow suit to what DC Comics did recently.
Mhm.
They're partnering, and it's all corporate synergy bullshit, but it's cool at the same time. Where Warner Brothers owns DC Comics, and they just have a deal with AEW Wrestling, All Elite Wrestling, and so they're putting in little comics of like mini comics, I guess, storylines of AEW wrestlers in DC Comics,
Yep.
and they're advertising it on television,
On
which is
there,
awesome,
yeah.
which is super cool. I wasn't really interested in the Absolute series of DC Comics, which, um, if you're listening out there, Ricky Starks, come back to AEW so you can be in the Absolute uh, series. Come
No
on, man.
shit. Yeah,
Absolute, right? Anyways,
it makes sense.
uh,
Yeah.
but I thought that was really cool. And even cooler, during the commercial break of wrestling, they had a commercial for the DC Comic Digest series where
Yeah.
they take old story not necessarily graphic novels, like series, graphic novels, the chunks. They take graphic novels and they shrink them down to digest form, uh, which kind of pisses me off because like, dang it, that was my idea, and then now we're
Yeah, we were
like,
yeah,
and
we
then DC
originally
made
did
it cool,
Mashbone and Grifty manga size. Yeah.
yeah,
And now they're doing
and
it. And
so
they're
and they're
and they're
selling
fucking
them,
cool. We
yeah,
we had gotten the Watchmen ones there at the Comic Cave, and yeah, they're badass, dude. Like that's it's fucking. And I thought the
yeah,
same thing. Like like Oscar
and
had
they're
this idea.
yeah, and they're $10, which is rad.
Yeah,
We could not have afforded to sell it for $10, but that's DC, so they can afford it.
yeah,
And I thought that was cool, like seeing a commercial on regular ass television for comic books. It's something that frankly should happen more often. I mean, DC is now taking the approach of like we're going to push our comics, which is something Marvel should do because Marvel has the higher grossing movies. It's
mm,
kind of whack that they don't even put a commercial, a trailer for Marvel comics in front of every MCU movie.
it
It's
is
nuts.
absolute bullshit. And what I don't like about all that Marvel stuff is how they're because kind of DC and James Gunn kind of said, if when they did the all new or no, what was it called? Shit. The event that they did last year to kind of relaunch a lot of the DC titles. I forget what the hell
All
that's
new, all
called.
different.
No, 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 no. That was I think that was Marvel. But no, I forget what it was called. But anyway, they relaunched several titles last year, like Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm reading the
and
Superman one.
yeah, uh so anyway, so the idea was or the what was communicated is if you want to get an idea for what kind of heroes are going to be or how these heroes are going to be presented to you in the movies, or to get more familiar with how they're going to write these heroes in the movies, to start reading these new runs, because that's what the movies are going to be going off of.
Yeah,
Marvel is kind of doing that, but not really. It's more whatever they want to plan to do in the movies, they basically are going to go back to the comics and say, hey, make it closer to this. Um, instead of like, hey, this is how we want our heroes to be presented and yada yada. Instead, they're I don't know. It's a bunch of fuckery, man. Like I
Yeah.
don't like what I'm seeing so far, especially since like their last slate of stuff hasn't been that fucking great. You know, and and there's stupid ass arguments against, but the fact of the matter is like most of that stuff was just not good, you know, or it wasn't not I don't want to say that it just wasn't good. It didn't have the level of like energy and passion and all that shit that you saw before in the earlier stuff. Like you can tell like a lot of this stuff is just like a money grab kind of thing. Like, oh, like
Yeah.
feed them anything and they'll fall for it, you know. The consumer will consume and you can do that to a
Dawn
certain
of
extent.
DC. Is that what you're talking about?
Dawn of DC, there you go. Yeah, Dawn of DC. So that was kind of the relaunch, but yeah, but I don't like how the Marvel directive is different from that shit. You know, it's
Yeah.
and like fuck the comics. Like it's about the movies. Like yo, the movies have been doing great, and plus on top of that, like you're not even advertising the comics.
Hmm.
That's yeah, it sucks. But I'm glad to see that at least DC's starting to put those commercials out there.
Yeah. It's with the Marvel shit. It's tricky, man, because like you want to get into a long running storyline, and then you end up for some of them you end up like not enjoying it too much. Like a lot of the stuff that I was reading in Marvel the past year or two, I ultimately come to the conclusion like it's okay.
Hmm.
It's all right.
Yeah, that and
Um,
that's what most of it is these days. It's
yeah,
just it's
and
okay.
then they'll do like a mini one where it's going to be 3 issues, like Wolverine and Deadpool World War III or
Yeah.
WW3. And that one, it's like, oh, I'll buy into that. It's only 3 issues. Totally, I'll get it. And it was ultimately like nothing. I didn't like
Mm-hmm.
that one, especially because it's the hype of Wolverine and Deadpool, the movie.
Hmm.
So they do this mini series, but they put the most emo, excuse me, emo depressing ass
Dude,
Deadpool.
Marvel, dude, real quick, Disney and Marvel are already attacking you, bro. It's
They
not
are.
even aired.
I'm sorry, but they put in like a super depressed emo Deadpool that's not even cracking jokes in
What
those
the
three
fuck?
issues, and it bummed me the hell out. Like, and by the time you're like, oh, it's only 3 issues. So by the time you realize you hate it, it's over. The Deadpool one, I'm enjoying
Mm,
like his own solo series. I'm liking that one, and I'm liking that Greg Capullo Wolverine one.
mm.
But I feel like the Greg Capullo Wolverine one, like it's just, hey, let's get this guy to do a Wolverine story. It doesn't have anything to do with it's that guy's I don't want to say fault, but it's that guy's fault that the book is good.
Yeah, yeah, there
You
you
know,
go.
so they could have just. It's obvious they had people do like let's do like how many Wolverines are out right now? Let's do like 4 Wolverine issue storylines.
And then you have
They
Venom
don't have
Lore
to be good.
Wolverine.
Yeah, but that one's good because of the guy who's making it good.
Yeah. All right. Well, ladies and germs, thank you for joining us today for this comics laced edition of Real Scraps podcast. Next show, I originally was thinking about putting it together with this one, but I think I'm going to do a separate one. Next show is going to be our very first interview. We're going to be interviewing Rafael Flores from Grimcore Studios. They have Return of Gamazots went to
Rancor.
out on Kickstarter. That one just started on October 1st, so I'm going to be having an interview with him. Um, we're going to talk wrestling. We're going to talk comics. So it's going to be same vibes as with Oscar. Unfortunately, Oscar will not be joining us at that time. He's got to go back to the negative zone and go, stomp a mud hole in some multi-dimensional being asses. But yeah, so join us for that very cool ass interview. And be sure to follow us at Realist Scraps at RLST underscore GRAPS. And Oscar, where can they find everything comic book related for
at
us?
at 5 meets number 5 MEATS. That's
There
that's
you
where
go.
it is.
At 5 meets, number 5, MEATS. Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us. My name is Rolo. That is Oscar, and this is the Realist Scraps Wrestling Podcast. Peace.